Animals reunited with owners after years. To many of us, our furry friends mean no less than our family and friends. Sometimes our hearts can be broken as we and our pets are forced to part ways. If you've ever lost your pet, even for a few days, you'll understand the feeling of sheer relief and joy when you're finally reunited with them. Just imagine if the feeling of the reunion that takes place after months and years. That would truly be something special. Today in this video, I'll be sharing with you some of the most heartwarming reunion stories of pets and their owners. Linda reunites with Swing and Doll. Swing and Doll were once simply medical research subjects kept caged 24 hours a day, all in the name of science. Today, several decades later, these female chimpanzees enjoy the sun on their backs and the wind in their hair. But if it wasn't for a 23-year-old graduate student, Linda, they may never have made it. The pair of chimpanzees was rescued along with several others from a research lab where they were no longer required. They were taken to a sanctuary in southern Florida, which is now home to over 30 chimps. Linda stayed with them for 4 years, helping to acclimatize them to their new surroundings. Chimpanzees have provided us with so much in this world, it was a bold experiment to check whether they'll remember Linda, but it worked. 18 years after leaving her beloved friends, Linda visited them, unsure whether they would remember her. But she needn't have worried, as the clock was turned back as if she'd only left them the day before. Swing and Doll greet her with a quiet handshake, followed by a loving embrace. They smiled as Linda wept, thrilled at the fact they remember her. It was evident that this woman who gave them their freedom had also developed an unbreakable bond of friendship and love with the pair. Suzanne reunites with her horse. Suzanne had an emotional reunion with her pet horse after returning from the holidays. Having spent 3 weeks abroad, Suzanne was in for a pleasant surprise when she returned home. For some people, having a horse as a companion is no different than having a dog or a cat. You miss them like crazy while you're away, and you hope they feel the same, but you're never quite sure. When this owner had to leave her horse for 3 weeks, she was pretty sure that the separation would be just as difficult on her beloved steed as it would be for her. But she had no idea just how much. On her return, the mutual emotional connection between the pair was very evident. When the owner returned and called the horse, he wasn't quite sure that the voice he heard was his beloved master. However, he starts to slowly walk forward. On closer inspection, he confirms it's her and starts running towards her, embracing her in his own way when they meet in the middle of the paddock. She clearly has his heart. Butterscotch reunites with Jane. Butterscotch, the obviously very much loved family dog, was missing for about 12 days. He was fortunately found, and on reaching home, he was reunited with the family in a heartwarming encounter. On arriving home, he was sitting in the car after being picked up by the lady of the house, Jane. She's been out distributing flyers for days, and her efforts were rewarded after about a week and a half. Butterscotch, or Butters as he's affectionately known, sat on the seat beside her. He almost looks like he was sulking. He didn't look like a dog who's been rescued from homelessness after 12 days. He found himself a lady friend who knew his mom. Jane, his mom, found him after a lot of searching and took him home to reunite him with her husband and daughter Kayla. When the car entered the street, Butters' dad was just so excited that he dashes towards the car across to the passenger side and simply couldn't get the door open fast enough. The moment he got hold of the dog is truly heart-wrenching as he sobs in relief. Butters, however, seemed relatively calm as he was back with the family. He's definitely one much-missed and very loved dog. John and Ace reunite with Christian. 5,000 miles is a long way to travel to see a friend who perhaps may have forgotten you. But John Rendell and Ace Bork took that chance in 1972. 3 years prior, the pair had adopted a young lion cub called Christian. He was born in captivity on the west coast of England before being sold to the odd pet section of a department store. Back then, such a transaction was legal, and John and Ace bought him in 1969. A well-loved and affectionate cub was kept in the basement of a furniture shop on Kings Road in Chelsea. He ate in a local restaurant and played in a nearby graveyard, but soon his size proved to be a problem. A chance encounter of the couple, Ravers and Virginia McKenna, founders of the Born Free Foundation, led to Christian being returned to the wild in Kenya in 1971. 9 months later, his original owners, John and Ace, traveled there, hoping to catch up with their pet lion. Although they were hesitant at first, they watched as Christian slowly edged down the rock face, but upon recognizing the pair, he quickly picked up the pace. The emotional reunion showed how strong the bond between man and lion can be. Christian was heard crying out of excitement as he lunged at John and Ace, pulling them both into an embrace, almost knocking them off their feet. It was just an incredible reunion. He was just so pleased to see them. Malkia and Adele reunite with Zimanova. The reunion between the two rescued lions and Michelle Zimanova, a woman who helped raise them as cubs, was very heartwarming. When the rescued lions came face to face with the lady, it was evident that they definitely remember her. They went crazy with excitement, so much so that things got a little rough, and it appeared as if the lady was attacked. Zimanova had to tell them to mind their manners. Malkia and Adele were raised in a big cat rescue center in Slovakia after they were rejected by their mother when they were tiny cubs. The pair were born in captivity to parents that performed in circuses across the Eastern European province. They grew up with humans as their parents. They were left free and wild away from captivity after they grew up. Their reaction when they set eyes on Zimanova, their godmother, was of genuine love. Malkia and Adele seemed like a couple of puppies overcome with excitement, standing on their hind legs to greet her and hug her close. It was just adorable. They even wrapped their paws around her neck and squeezed her. This is the first time. Their happiness was very obvious. Baby Lembani reunites with his friends. Baby Lembani is a young chimp who lives in Miami. He's not only a hit with his close human friends, but he's also an internet sensation with more than 500,000 Instagram followers. There's no wonder he's so popular. This guy has personality in spades. He's also very cute. Lembani is just 3 years old. He loves his skateboard, hanging out with other exotic species at the Wildlife Foundation where he lives, and eating popsicles. What else would a little guy do on a hot day? His Instagram account was launched to educate followers about the conservation of chimpanzees and to make people aware that wild animals shouldn't be kept as pets. However, him catching up with his human friends would make many think that it's a good idea. He was very excited to meet his friend pair after a long time. Lembani went very vocal and jumps around like a kid at Christmas, leaping into both their arms, holding on tightly. The scene was very heartwarming. He's truly the poster boy. Anyone would fall in love with him. And where he lives is one of the top places to visit in Miami by TripAdvisor. Doofus reunites with Adams. When it comes to pets, this one is a little unusual reunion. But who said a goose cannot be devoted to its owner? The goose named Doofus, owned by Sydney Adams, lives in Denmark with his flock. The lady and her goose obviously formed a very close bond, and everyone who sees them will agree. When Adam returned from a long trip, Doofus hugged her like never before. It was a very heartwarming moment. All of the animals on the farm are rescues, and Adams treats them all like family. She says her relationship with Doofus has grown over the years, as it certainly wasn't love at first sight. Doofus was injured when he came to Adams and used to chase her out of his enclosure. After months of perseverance, she had him eating out of her hand. So he greets her daily with a goose-sized hug. The bond between humans and animals can grow quite strong. Animals are very often constant companions, very loyal, trusting, and kind. And when they're left behind for one reason or another, it can be really tough for all involved. These amazing stories were a reminder of how lovely this animal-human bond can be. I hope you liked the video, and we'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon for future updates.